So I want to offer a word about all the student debt. There's a lot of student loan debt in America. They're saying it's going to be the next big bubble that's going to burst in America. It's for my own self-interest, I have student debt, and part of it I got something out of it, but the other part of it, when it comes to Spalding University, who fucked me over, and I don't really see that I have a recourse. They had all the money, they took it first, and then I'm just like out in the cold, and it's like, Jesus, I'm the customer, and I'm not happy with my graduate school. Elizabeth Warren wasn't happy with her graduate school either. She dropped out. She was a special education teacher, and she was emergency certified. She said she was pregnant, and then, that's why they didn't ask her to come back. But she may have been pregnant, but ultimately she's given two different stories. So who knows which one's actually true. But it sounds more plausible that, one of the two, so going to the graduate school, and then she did some education courses and just said it wasn't for her. She said that was the reason why she quit being a special education teacher, because of the graduate courses, because of those education courses. So Elizabeth Warren feels my pain. Now, the United States, when it comes to what they want, polls say they want a good, honest candidate. So Bernie Sanders has beaten everybody in the polls in terms of his honesty. Bernie Sanders has also beaten everybody in the polls in terms of his ability to bring about change. So you want someone who's honest and decent and who wants to bring about change. That's what America wants, at least the Democrats in the primary. They want a good, honest candidate who can actually bring about the change that these candidates are promising. So Bernie Sanders is awesome. Bernie Sanders is actually fundraising for Ayanna Pressley, despite her endorsing Elizabeth Warren. So Bernie Sanders can recognize the good in others, even if they don't recognize the good in him. And then NPR, they're mentioning mandatory Medicare for all. So it's going to be mandatory, right? So it makes it sound like it's being foisted upon us. It's being foisted upon the nation. But it's a good foist, okay? For 100 years, anyways. So the only thing that could actually beat a right-wing populist is a left-wing populist. Bernie Sanders, and only Bernie Sanders could beat, this Fuhrer, this ferret-headed, Cheeto-faced Fuhrer, dirty, rotten son of a bitch, occupying the Oval Office in the White House today. Now, forgiving student loan, Elizabeth Warren is going to forgive about 50% of all the student loan, but Bernie's going to get rid of all of it. Right now, you have 43 million Americans who own $1.5 trillion in federal student loan debt. $1.5 trillion. That's the next big bubble that's going to burst. Only Bernie and Ilhan Omar, only the Jew and the Muslim are the only ones who's sitting there saying that let's get rid of this student loan debt. We were able to bail out the banks through quantitative easing, and that was okay, but we're not going to bail out 43 million Americans who are drowning, 43 million Americans who said, I'm going to, better the world, better society, better myself, and get, the good jobs, and so therefore I'll be more useful to society. So this is a good political tactic by forgiving all the student loan debt, not just a half-assed Elizabeth Warren kind of forgiveness, but actually free college for everybody and forgiveness of everybody's debt. It's smart politically. 43 million Americans, that represents 13% of the total population. They're college educated, so therefore more likely to vote. Smart politically, it gets those 13% to vote for you, but it's also good for the economy. It frees up those folks to start brand new, get back into the economy. I mean, my God, to be $100,000 in debt, I would have rather had that money given to me, and then I could have invested in a business and then failed at business or succeeded. But at least I'd been doing something instead of giving, all that money to a bunch of authoritarian bureaucratic assholes who don't give a shit about you and your career and whether or not you can eat, whether or not you got food in your stomach. Just shut up and sit down. They're doing that to the adults in graduate school. It's not just kindergarten. They're doing it to, full-grown adults. Shut up, sit down. This authoritarian, bullshit in public schools is ridiculous. So it frees folks up, it's good for the economy. It's good for those people. It's smart politically Just because they wanted a better life doesn't mean that they should be shackled to these, debts forever and ever. The only thing, you can declare bankruptcy and you can get rid of, basically all your bills except for fines. If the government fines you, you can't get rid of your fines. And then child support, you got to pay your child support, and federal student loans. So if you got a loan for a house or a car and, you fell under, you could declare bankruptcy on that, but you can't declare bankruptcy on all these. So basically, you are saddled with this debt to the end of your life, until the end of your days. It's Joe Biden bankruptcy bill. So this is absolute, bullshit. So this is great for Bernie Sanders. His education, Bernie's school, is better than Elizabeth Warren. Not only is college free for everybody with student debt was going to be forgiven, and it's comprehensive. So Liz's is not comprehensive. You got to have a universal comprehensive plan that's going to, exist for longevity, like Social Security. It's got to be universal. It's got to be comprehensive. So Bernie's school is just so much better. She's trying to, right? She's going to take care of 50%, but not all of it. Germany provides free college to Americans for free. They don't just give their own citizens free college, but they give America's young adults free college as well. That's how incredible Germany, not only, at some point in time, Germany says, we want an educated population. It's better to have an educated population. A good, healthy, educated population. Take care of the kids. So free child care, free health care, free college. And all those benefits even for Americans, for foreigners. So America, you want to go, get free college, go to Germany. You'll get free college and you'll get, a foreign country experience. So the only thing that's going to be the right-wing populist is a left-wing populist. Elizabeth Warren's moment was in 2016. Bernie almost missed his moment, but it's certainly not Liz Warren. Bernie, if you want a progressive populist who's actually going to change things, it's going to be Bernie. He's honest, he's truthful, he's more progressive than Liz on a whole array of issues. And we need a left-wing populist, and he's very popular. He's a rock star right now. So Bernie Sanders and only Bernie Sanders can beat Donald Trump. And if you have school debt, or if other people have school debt, I think you should talk about it more, because this goes to people's self-interest. Do you want to be saddled with this debt for the rest of your life? And what about your children? People say, well, I already paid for it. What about me? What about your kids? It's going to be, free college for your kids. So for the future, help out your fellow man, and for the future, for your own children. So it'll help out, their kids in the future. Even if it doesn't help them out directly. Yeah, they paid for it. They did what they're supposed to, but that's, it works for some people, right? If you go to college and get a decent job, then it's no problem. But what happens if college doesn't set you up for a good job? Then you're just fucked. You're negative, 50,000 or whatever in debt, negative 50,000. So you didn't start out with just nothing. You started out 50,000 in the hole. It's better to be broke. It's better to be poor. It's better to have nothing than, to be negative 50,000. How is that going to help anybody? So yeah, the student debt cancellation thing is a very important issue for me, and I bet it's an important issue for a lot of people across America too. So make sure you go out and vote for Bernie Sanders. Alabama, Tennessee, make sure you vote for Bernie Sanders when it comes to Super Tuesday, March 3rd, 2020. For Christ's sake, what the fuck is the matter with you motherfuckers? Jesus fucking Christ. Of course it's Bernie. Jesus Christ. How come everybody else can see it but you can't?